if this is really good, and if this is really good, what do you think is gonna happen if we combine them both? Today we're making chili mac. This is one of the most classic camping dishes out there. It was one of my first backpacking meals I've ever had. We're gonna do a really simple version, the version that I did back in the day, and we're gonna make an elevated version as well with fresh ingredients that's made from scratch. Let's get cooking. For ingredients, the easy recipe only has 2 ingredients. You have a can of chili and a box of Kraft mac and cheese. That's it. And ingredients for the advanced version, because we're making most of the stuff from scratch, is ground beef, chili beans, canned crushed tomatoes, chicken stock, onion, salt and pepper. For spices, we have cumin, chili powder, Italian seasoning blend, which has oregano, basil, and thyme in it. Garlic, shells here for the mac and cheese. And then a little garnish, we have cilantro, pickled red onion, ground beef, butter, and milk. Probably missing something, but it's all gonna be on the screen anyway. To start, we're gonna make a super simple chili mac, just Kraft mac and cheese and a can of chili. It cannot get easier than that. What I've done here is add a pot to our stove. I'm gonna boil the water, add some salt to the water, and then just add our mac and cheese. Let that cook. I'm gonna do about a half recipe. And you all know how to mac and cheese. You all know how to mac and cheese. Yeah, I said that right. You all know how to make mac and cheese, so I don't need to give you a tutorial on that. Just gonna cook the noodles, add the cheese, and then add our chili at the end. But I will say, this meal, I mean, this was probably one of my first camping meals, backpacking meals that I've ever had. We would hike in with the chili. It was like the meal that we looked forward to. We would save it for the last meal of backpacking trips because it was hearty and delicious, and you know, when you're working hard, things taste better. It's funny to look back on it now because Kraft mac and cheese isn't my favorite thing in the world, nor is a can of chili, but I think we have to do a little taste test, get a little taste of that nostalgia, see if that can overpower the advanced chili that we're gonna make later in the video. Give that a mix. Oh yeah, electric yellow. It probably tastes good. Now that that is added, we're gonna add our can of chili here, right in. Give that a mix, and that is chili mac. That's it, easy. It's a 1-pot meal, which is nice, makes dishes nice. All right, taste test time, triple T. It's incredibly salty, which is probably has to do with how much salt I added to the water, but I kind of love how salty that is. It's good, it's really good. So first we're gonna start with the chili. And I think this might be the only vegetable we have to chop in this whole dish, which is kind of cool, unless you're really into chopping vegetables. So I'm gonna cut this pretty fine because we kind of want our chili to have a nice consistency to it. And it seems like a lot of ingredients at the start. The way that this comes together, it's very simple to make. It won't make you feel like there's that many ingredients involved. I throw these onions, not that many tries. Get the pan hot and then throw in the onions, a little bit of olive oil, and then into the pan the onions go. And then just give these a little salt and pep. Give these guys a little stir. We're gonna let these cook a little bit down and then add in our garlic. So I said that the onion was the only thing that we were cutting, and boy was I wrong, because we have garlic that I forgot to cut. Got about 8 cloves here. And get these finely chopped and smushed, and where'd that go? Did that fall? Oh, garlic down. Nature's pepper, put some dirt on it. Yep, just finely chopping these. Now that the onions are cooked down a decent bit, I'm gonna add in our garlic. You wanna watch this because it burns easy. I'm gonna stir that in, turn down the heat a bit. Ooh, that garlic smells so good. Now that the garlic is cooked down a little bit, I'm gonna throw in our ground beef. You'll wanna break apart the beef. We want this just to brown. Now that our beef is mostly brown, I'm gonna throw in our spices. I'm gonna turn down the heat a little bit so these spices don't burn. Chili powder, cumin, Italian seasoning blend, some pepper. Give that a mix. Toast those spices, smelling good. I'm gonna go ahead and add our tomato paste so that that can toast a little bit too. And the handle is getting too hot for me to hold. Now that those spices have been able to cook a little bit, I'm gonna add in our liquids, and then it's just gonna chill out and cook for about an hour. And I'm loosely going off of a recipe here, but kind of eyeballing things here. Beans, chicken stock. I feel like a good rule of thumb is the more liquid you add, the more that you're gonna need to reduce it. So it'll just cook longer, which is fine. And then last but not least, our beer. Probably should give this a taste test. See how much liquid is there? This will probably reduce a fair bit as it cooks over the next hour. I'm gonna bring this to a boil and then lower the heat so that it just simmers. And that is our chili. So now that our chili is reducing, I'm gonna get started on the mac portion of the advanced mac and cheese. I'm gonna start by heating up these noodles. And because we reuse things around here, I'm gonna use some of this starchy water that I cooked the first recipe in. And I heard this is like a restaurant trick to make pasta taste better, like the pasta at the end of a shift, because they've just been cooking it. I heard it tastes better. We'll see. And I'm only gonna cook these, the noodles aren't even in yet. What am I talking about? Gosh! This is what happens when I try to film when I'm hungry. Which is a good thing because I'll eat more food, but I lose my mind. Have you guys met Al? Al dente? Exactly what these noodles are. Now that the noodles are cooked through how we want them, they're al dente, I'm gonna remove them from the heat. I'm gonna separate the noodles and the water that they're cooking in because we will need that for the sauce, the cheese part of the mac. And now we're going to make our cheese sauce. We're gonna start by adding in milk. We're gonna heat this up and then add in our butter. We wanna keep this stirring so it doesn't burn on the bottom. Now we're gonna start adding in our butter. And the name of the game here is continuously stirring so that the fats from the butter can incorporate into this little sauce. Now I'm gonna add in a handful of Parmesan cheese, and again, continuously stirring here. Now that the sauce is ready, I'm gonna add the noodles back in, mix it together, add some of our pasta water, and then our mac and cheese is done. I think I messed up the order. I was supposed to add in the parm later. Oh well. I'm gonna add in our noodles back into this. It's a full pot. We're gonna need a bigger pot. That's kind of cool. It's like bingo for pasta shells. And lucky number, pasta. I'm gonna add some of our pasta water and another handful of parm. So now that this mixture is getting a little bit thicker, I'm gonna cut it from the heat and we're gonna combine these two love interests into a holy matrimony. I am a little bit concerned. You can see this Parmesan cheese here is kind of clumping together. It doesn't look the most appetizing, to be totally honest. I'm kind of hoping that once I add it into the chili that will cease to be an issue. You can see after this is cooked a little bit, we got that starchy water in here. It's starting to look more like a mac and cheese. Did you know that mac and cheese actually is an Irish dish? Yeah, I think it was some guy, Ryan Mac and Cheese. It's a name. It's a name actually. All right. This is looking good. I'm gonna give it a taste test. That's surprisingly good. It tastes elevated. That tastes like, you know exactly what that tastes like. You can taste the butter, the milk, cheese, Parmesan. It's good. It's different. You can see here the chili has reduced quite a bit. This is the consistency that we're looking for. You can see on the walls, it actually started up here and then moved all the way down. Should be way more flavorful. Time for the moment of truth. Oh, this is hearty. I'm gonna feed a feast. And that is chili mac. Okay, so it's done cooking. And because you know I can't just leave it as it is, I'm gonna dress it up and I'm gonna add some of the remaining Parmesan cheese, some cilantro that I just ripped up with my hands. And then I had some quick pickles at home because of my nachos recipe, which I recommend you check out. So I'm gonna add some pickled red onion on top as well. Okay, it's the moment. Time to finally taste the chili mac. Wow. I mean, it's delicious. You knew that. It almost tastes like a different dish than that first chili mac. I mean, it's just more flavorful. Like, you can taste the ingredients in this, from the tomatoes to the actual like pasta noodle that you use. It's just a way better quality. Well, thanks for watching another video, guys. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I think I might actually be able to finish this pot all by myself. So I'll see you on the next video.